Can you also just give like a 10-second intro to yourself?
Yeah, it's a development consultancy, obtaining development approvals prior to any construction work in Australia and New Zealand. So most focus within the construction industry goes to what you can physically see, which is natural, it's human nature. But people neglect the fact that selecting the right site, having all of the designs, all of the approvals, and everything implemented in a way that's going to set you up for success for the project is all in the development stage. And that's exactly what we solve. So for some of our biggest clients, we assess the site for them, we assess what they want to do, we assess what's going to be the highest and best yield for them, and then we help them obtain all of the paperwork necessary to get them approved and get them ready to obtain lean quotes from contractors before they even hit the ground running.
Yeah, so James, what you were saying about the issues you're facing with hiring a technical guy on the team without and managing a full stack technical team member, what were the main struggles that you had with that?
Yeah, so hiring someone who's going to be a full stack developer, some of the biggest struggles are having that gap bridge between someone who is very technical and someone who's non-technical, and being that sort of needing to become that person who is, what's the term that's being coined at the moment? It's a technical go-to-market.
Go-to-market engineer.
Go-to engineer, yeah. So look, it's been a blessing and a curse because hiring someone like that's forced me to explore that room and become more technical myself, which has led me and you had to have some great conversations. But in the early days, it was a challenge because you're trying to hire someone who is quote unquote a gun or calls themselves an A player, and you're actually none the wiser as to what their outputs are. So that's definitely one of the challenges. But from having great conversations with you both and helping me to be a bit more technical and a bit more understanding of sort of my needs, wants, and requires, it's definitely helped with that process.
Yeah. And in hindsight, you see like other business owners. I mean, how do you actually see other companies implementing this? Because the most valuable thing in the world is technical people who know sales and marketing, right? Because there's not many people who can correlate AI to revenue growth, right? What would you say, and where do you see other business owners like sort of avoiding the problems?
Everyone I speak to in the industry, everyone out is out there at the moment, and it's been coined. They know they need to implement AI. They're all getting FOMO from what they see on social media, and then the cost and mistake that they've been making is going out and hiring the first person they find. And like we've just said, for the reasons I've just said, it's a bad mistake. Because you hire someone, you put them in a chair, and then you focus on what you do best and hope that they're going to do the rest. But that doesn't work. And if you're paying someone, I mean, in Australia, you'd be paying someone, now the market is very competitive for good players. And if you're going to be paying $150,000 to $180,000 a year, and you're hoping that person's just going to solve your problems without a commercial lens or an implementation strategy, then it's wishful thinking, and they're probably going to cost you more than the $180K in just wasted payments.
So what do you think the main general mistakes are, if you could put them to a T, that a business owner would make before implementing AI, from like what you've done, because you've probably gone through the trials and tribulations already?
Correct. So it's basically just a board of time, which is the irony, because you're getting someone in to save you more time, and then there's always a processing when you hire someone new into the business while they're being trained. But then once they're hired and you think that they're solving the problem, you actually have a lot of things that have been done that are not exactly what you want, and then you have to unpick them. So it's just a board of time, and also messing with processes, messing with systems. It's been one of the biggest headaches.
When you say Alex, you mean like what? You as a business owner spending time on trying to figure out yourself, or?
Yeah, so I'd say having someone like that in the team that you're hoping can do this for you, there's more time spent than you anticipated for. So me as a business owner spending time holding their hands.
Okay, I see what you mean. And is that purely because you think he's fully technical and not so operational? So what are you trying to do, like micromanage to make sure that he's building what you want and correlating it to revenue, or what was the main problem with it?
Yeah, it's having him build something that's going to save me time,
Yeah.
which that time is it's a revenue. But when you're not technical in nature yourself, you spend a lot of time trying to talk about something that you want, and then it doesn't necessarily translate.
Because you don't even exactly understand what the architecture of it looks like to build it.
Correct, exactly.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that's interesting. So what do you think the solution is then? Because I remember as well earlier on you said don't hire the first person you speak to on AI. Like what should you be looking for as a business owner?
So look, the way I've come to understand it now is one of the best solutions is to just have someone who's fractional within the business. So similarly, like the way I'll pay an accountant to manage my finances for the business, I don't need to hire an accountant for 200K a year to sit within the business. Yes, we might be a finance officer, but we don't need the accountant in the business. We just employ a good accountancy agency who we pay, a one-time fee to set us up and then a retainer each month.
Yeah.
So similarly with a process like this, you don't actually want to hire someone who has no, 9 times out of 10 will not have any, financial understanding or commercial understanding of the business, and you'll have to hold their hand and waste loads of time holding their hand for an output that may not be relevant. I just outsource with someone who's credible, get them to implement me, and have them on demand when I need them.
Yeah, because what's interesting is we've seen like even with big companies like 60 person and like 400 person hospitality groups, like even one of our clients, they even said to us like they would prefer to have like an original build out from like a system like as per like us and do a build out with them like, as a quote unquote agency, right? And then also we would give them the option as well to actually hire, train and implement an in-house staff member, which we would just fractionally manage ourselves as well on like a small retainer and pay his salary.
Beautiful.
So they would still get the correlation to revenue growth. At the same time, they have someone like mentoring the team member in-house. And that's like what we've tried to do to get around that issue, even if the team, if they do want to bring it in-house.
That's great, because for a smaller company, that might not be an option. So just having you as a fractional support is fine.
Yeah.
If it's a big firm, want to hire someone in-house, then it exactly solves the problem I've just spoken about.
No, exactly. And they want someone, because AI is also always changing, right? Like some people we've spoken to as well is like, I don't want to implement this yet because it's going to change, right? But the natural, the realization is, well, it's always going to change, right? The people who hop on the bandwagon now can build systems which are able to adapt as the industry and new models come out and new systems, like new capabilities come out as well. And I don't know, have you seen the same thing?
Correct. Yeah, 100%. So in any business with good systems, the system is not the system is to achieve the outcome. And I don't really care what the tech stack is behind the outcome, but you need to be achieving the outcome. And if we're going to do that through AI, and then yes, the tech tools are changing, but if it's set up in such a way that you can just plug and play the latest and the best without me knowing, amazing. I think people are waiting on the fence for the final solution. It's never going to arrive. It's going to be constantly evolving.
Yeah.
It's an every problem. And I think just setting it up to achieve the outcome and then allowing somebody else who's a professional to help guide you on what the best solution is to the outcome is perfect, rather than just sitting on the fence and waiting.
Yeah, no, completely right. Nice. And final words, or what are the next steps? What do you think for any business owner that they should take? Because there's so many things that are going through your head on AI, and a lot of business owners don't even really understand what it is or the capabilities. What do you think is the best way to warm themselves up? Is it just to educate themselves?
What I'd say look at your business, look at where you spend time, look at your calendar, group it down into 3 or 4 verticals, and I can guarantee you it's going to be a handful of things. You can spend your time in finance, business development, managing your team, and we could just stop there. The list could go on, but even if we just stop at those 3 verticals, and then look at the time you spend within those 3 verticals. So all of the time of chasing invoices, chasing your staff if they invoice somebody, where are your finances up to? What are your outgoings? What are your incomings? What does your cash flow look like? What's your sales process looking like? All of these things take so much time. I'd say map that out, realize how much pain is involved and how much you spend to solve that pain, and you'll find that there's more than one person in the team who just sits there doing that, and you'd be surprised to understand that that could be all automated and be more efficient. I think that's a good starting point.
Yeah.
And then having someone like yourself come in and just give a bit of a strategy session as to what that looks like.
Yeah, just like an audit. Like if you know like what that kind of 80-20 audit is yourself, if this was unlocked, this would unlock this for me as a business, and we could scale this much. And then having it just like audited essentially by just AI like native people, or people who actually implement these kind of solutions.
Yeah, absolutely. And you don't even need to be AI literate yourself. Literally just start with what are the top 3 verticals within your business that you spend a lot of time on. And you can just go into your calendar and do a simple basic audit with a bit of paper and a pen. And you'll find where it falls into those categories. And then a little brainstorm about where you spend your time, and you'll be eye-watering of how much time is wasted.